Your brand is not just your logo, and a brand and a business are not the same thing. If you are guilty of thinking or saying these two things, then you want to make sure that you watch this entire video, because I am going to be breaking down what a brand is and what it isn't, so that way you can build a profitable brand strategically. What all of the big successful companies have in common, I'm talking about the companies that you go and shop with on a weekly basis. I am talking about the brands that you know and love since childhood. Yeah, those successful businesses and successful brands have one thing in common, and that is that they actually built a brand. See, you have a business, and your business is the transaction of money for a service or a product, right? Your brand is ultimately what makes people want to buy that product or service. And the faster you understand what that is and how to do that, the faster you will be checking off all of your goals on that vision board. So, in this video, I am going to be breaking down exactly what a brand is, what a brand isn't, and I'm even going to share how you can start to build your brand so that way you can have a profitable brand in no time. Now, if you are new here, hey, I am Chanel the Brand Hustler, and I help ambitious women like you build bomb brands so you can launch, grow, and scale your product business. Make sure that you go ahead and hit the subscribe button and join the Hustle Babe community. And before we dive into the video, I want you to comment down below. Are you a newbie to this channel, or are you a true Hustle Babe who is coming back? If so, welcome back, and comment the word Hustle Babe if you are a returning viewer and subscriber. But if this is your first time seeing me, comment below newbie so that way I can welcome you to the Hustle Babe community. Now, let's get into the video. First things first, let's talk about what a brand isn't, because there are so many misconceptions floating around about the word brand, and it's time to end it today, okay? So, the three common misconceptions that I hear when it comes to the word brand is, one, that your brand is all visuals. Your brand is not just your logo, fonts, colors. No, it's not just that. I actually believe that your visuals are the last piece to your brand foundation. I believe that there are 7 layers to a brand, and your visuals are the 7th layer, because your visuals only make sense if you have the preliminary layers mapped out, such as your audience, messaging, etc. Now, this isn't a video about all of the layers of a brand. I want to make sure that I'm giving you the high-level strategic information that you need right now. But if you do want to take a deep dive into the different layers of a brand foundation, I did put together my 6-figure brand class just for you. It's only an hour long, but it dives deep into the 7 layers of a brand so that way you can build your 6-figure brand too. The second misconception is that brand and business are interchangeable, and that is the farthest thing from the truth. Think about it like this. You walk into a Bentley dealership, you decide to test drive a Bentley coupe, and you are in love with the paint job. You're in love with the fact that it has leather seats. The seats are heated. They can also cool. You can drop down your sunroof. The music is blasting with just the right amount of bass. Those things that you feel and experience are a part of the Bentley brand. Not only that, but the name Bentley preceded itself. The reason you probably even went to that dealership is because you already have some sort of thought process or some sort of storyline in your head about Bentley already, right? And so when you open up the hood of the Bentley, the engine, the nuts and bolts, all the things that are under the hood Those are things that are not commonly shown to the eye, but they make the car run. That is your business. Think about your business as the tools, the people, the processes, the systems that have to happen in order for that exchange of money and product to actually happen. I like to think that your brand is the most important thing when it comes to brand versus business, but they both are super important nonetheless. The reason why I say your brand is super important and it's more important than your business is because your brand is what attracts your consumer. It's what connects to the consumer, and it's what converts the consumer. Your business then makes sure that the delivery of said product or good is actually smooth. That's why I think brand is important, because without having a solid brand built, you won't attract any customers. You won't connect with any customers, AKA you won't convert any customers. You can work on your business all day. You can be working on the back end all day. That does not matter if you do not put in the work to build a brand. The third misconception is that your brand is a one-time thing that you need to develop in order to launch. No. Your brand is something that you have to continue to nurture, you have to continue to develop, and you have to continue to refine to make sure that it's being perceived the right way, to make sure that it's connecting the right way, to make sure that your audience is experiencing all the things that you wanted to experience. And if anything, the more you grow, the more your brand should grow as well. You should be putting more into your brand experience, the way your brand looks, feels, all of the things, the more you elevate as an entrepreneur and as a business owner. So now, what exactly is a brand, you may be asking? Well, in the simplest way put, your brand is an experience. It is what people think, feel, say about you whenever they are interacting with your brand, and even when they're not interacting with your brand. So now, what is a brand? Well, in the simplest way I can put it, your brand is an experience. It is what people think, feel, say, and even do when they think of your brand. For example, if I say Nike, you probably immediately think about one of their campaigns like Just Do It. You may even think about a particular influencer or celebrity from one of their campaigns like Colin Kaepernick. You may even think about something related to athleticism, whether it's a specific sport or even you going to the gym. Now, if I say Savage X Fenty, you probably think lingerie, you think plus size, you think a variety of shapes, sizes, and skin tones, because Savage X Fenty was built to be an inclusive environment for women to feel their best and to really feel sexy in whatever it is that they're wearing. Now, think about your brand. What do you want people to think? What do you want them to say? What visuals do you want to pop up in their head when your brand is stated around them? That is what a brand is. And so in order to get them to think, see, feel, or even say certain things, you have to build out your brand correctly so these words, thoughts, and visuals actually come into play when they're interacting with your brand, and even when they're interacting with others and sharing your brand with others. Now, there are 3 specific keywords that I want you to remember as I go through how we are going to make sure that you build a solid brand. And these 3 words are brand perception. This is what people think about your brand, whether you are physically interacting with them or whether they are just having a casual conversation with a loved one. What they perceive about your brand, they will share with other people, good or bad. We want to make sure that that perception is a good one and it's on par with everything that you need it to be. So if you are building a luxury brand, you want it to be perceived as high-end and luxury. If they're perceiving it as cheap and replaceable, then that's not good. The second word that I want you to remember is brand recall. This is can somebody remember your brand even when your brand is not in front of them? If I say fast food chicken sandwich, what do you think of? If I say fast food fried chicken, what do you think of? If I say a organic, healthy grocery store, what do you think of? That is brand recall. You shouldn't have to tell people about your brand over and over. You want them to remember it, because when they remember it, they will naturally recommend it, but then they'll naturally want to be drawn back to your brand, AKA come back and support your brand even more, which brings me to the third term, which is brand loyalty. Brand loyalty drives repeat conversions, meaning that brand loyalty is what helps people come back to shop with you. You want to focus on building brand loyalty as much as possible, and you can do this through naming your audience. I mentioned Hustle Babe at the beginning of this video. That is my name for you and all of the other wonderful women within my community. Whether you have paid for something or not, I still consider you a Hustle Babe. Now, obviously, once you've paid for one of my programs or attended an event or bought one of my products, there's a layer of exclusivity and benefits that come there too. But nonetheless, just being within this environment, you are a part of a community, and that helps build brand loyalty. Let's get into how you can actually build your brand. To make this simple, I've broken it down into 4 different phases. The first is going to be your brand foundation. For this phase, you want to focus on what is your identity? What's your messaging, value, voice, personality? What's the overall vibe of your brand? And more specifically, who is your brand for? Because you should be crafting your brand identity to appeal to a specific target audience. Now, if you are lost in the sauce when it comes to target audience, I do have a paid and profitable workshop. Now, if you get the 6-figure brand mini class, you'll get a special offer to also get the paid and profitable workshop. I'll leave the link down below. If you want to purchase the paid and profitable separately, I'll leave that link down below as well. It's 2 full days of a workshop where I am teaching you how to identify, attract, connect, and convert your audience no matter what stage they are in their journey. Now, phase number 2 is going to be your brand goals. Every season of your brand should have a clear goal. Are you trying to scale something? Are you trying to level up engagement? Are you trying to change the perception of your brand? Are you trying to elevate your brand positioning? There are different brand goals, and we actually talked about this within my private mentorship community. So if you are a bomb CEO and you're watching this, you already know what to do, okay? But you want to think about what the goal of your brand is in this season. And your brand's goals are naturally not your business goals. So your brand goals are not revenue goals. Your brand goals are things like perception, positioning, awareness, recall, certain things like that. The third phase is going to be your brand strategy. Your strategy is how you'll actually meet the goals that you outlined in phase number 2. So these are the actions that you are going to take to make sure that you can elevate your positioning or change your positioning or increase brand recall or whatever it is your brand goal is for the specific season that you are in. And then phase number 4 is you need to come up with a brand-centric marketing plan. Now, depending on the stage of business you're in, you may be launching, you may be in the growth phase, you may be in the scale phase. You should have a brand-centric marketing plan that will allow you to either launch, grow, or scale with ease. And brand-centric marketing basically means that you are keeping your brand at the core, using your brand's values, vibe, voice to actually build a movement that sells your products. So I've broken down what a brand is, what it isn't, and I even gave you 4 phases that you need to take your brand through in order to build a profitable brand. Now, take this information, execute it, and if you want to go deeper, definitely check out the link in the description so that way you can grab the 6-Figure Brand mini class and all the other goodies that I always tend to put in the description as well. If this is your first time here, or maybe it's not and you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Hit the subscription button and join the Hustle Babe community. Follow me on Instagram and on TikTok at The Brand Hustler. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, Hustle Babe. Peace.